Hi, and welcome to Women CEO in Reflection, a podcast dedicated to personal growth and mental health discussions with women CEOs across the globe. It's here where inspired women get candid about what drives them to succeed and the personal challenges they've encountered on their path to success. So if you're a woman on a mission, this is the podcast you don't want to miss. So sit back, relax, and let's get candid. Hi, and welcome to Women CEO in Reflection. I'm your host, Marisa Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host, Neil Haley. Today's guest is Judy Weber, setting the gold standard for business coaching for Christian women. Judy Weber is a women's business strategist and scaling expert, the founder and host of the globally ranked Joyful Scaling podcast, and the CEO of Judy Weber Co., a boutique consultancy for women in business. A former corporate and trial attorney and C-suite executive, Judy is a genius at showing women how to fully embrace who they are in Christ so they can step confidently into their CEO role. Welcome to the show, Judy.
Thank you so much, Marisa. It's an honor to be here.
It's great to have you here today. So you have a very specific niche, which is a really interesting and great topic. Talk about how you not only became a business coach for women, but also decided to focus on the spiritual side of it, being specific to Christian women.
Yeah. My road to entrepreneurship is a very zigzaggy one. Just very briefly, I was raised poor, one of 6 kids. Dad was a factory worker. Mom stayed home. But this little girl always had big dreams. And so I remember I was a little girl and I said, Mommy, I'm going to go to college and I know I'm going to do something important. And she's like, okay, honey, it's like, but anyway, fast forward, I got to college. I always wanted to go to law school, but I didn't think people like me, because I'm also a lawyer, I didn't think people like me could be a lawyer. People like me, meaning poor folk, people who didn't know, have connections and had no money. But out of 5 years after graduating from college, I was in sales and I was selling to lawyers. And I'm like, oh my God, I walked out. I'm like, that guy's an idiot. If he can do this, I can do it. I'm going to law school. I don't care what it costs. I'll figure it out. So anyway, long story short, so then I went to law school, graduated the top of the class because that's who I am. I'm very much, a go-getter. And then I got a great job, got married, had kids, left the practice of law. And in 2003, when my boys were 2, 4, and almost 7, I started my first business as an interior decorator. And I loved it. Within the first month, I had 10 clients. And then I'm like, how do I manage the work? Anyway, fast forward, went through divorce, went back to the practice of law. Oh, also got my real estate license. I'm a go-getter. I don't like to sit still. But more recently, before I started in coaching officially, I was in-house counsel at a big company that was international, and it was a great job. I loved everybody except the boss. He was an a-hole. I'm sorry, but he was. And he just made life miserable. And so I quit, and that's when I entered coaching. But how I ended up zeroing in on Christian women is because I've always been a women's advocate. My mama raised a strong woman, and I always felt like I want to help other women just like me who came from nothing, and I want to give them what they need to make it. That's why my heart, even though I have 3 boys and I love them dearly, they're wonderful, beautiful men, now 21, 23, and 25. I just really want to help women. And Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior of my life. And as I was thinking about, teaching business without him, I realized I couldn't, because he is everything that I do. He is my waking moment. I can't take him out of what I do. So he's always been a part of my business. And so now he is a part of the strategies that I teach my clients.
What I noticed in listening to you in the story is basically you see in so many ways you figured out your purpose. Once you quit corporate, you figured out your purpose. And that kind of changes the trajectory of everything. That you now are doing it for yourself. You see the power of what that is and how I'm going to do it. And especially figuring out your niche of women, Christian women, and bringing your expertise to the table. It doesn't feel like work anymore, and you feel like you're being driven in the right direction. When I agree in that, starting in that process.
Absolutely, Neil. And thank you so much for having me as well. I don't know that I said hello to you, and thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I I really do feel like that. I'll never forget when I had that first law job, and in my cute little office, because I was at a major Philadelphia area law firm. And so I had this little bitty office, but I was so proud. I looked around and I'm like, this is so amazing. Within a month of being there, I'm like, this is great. I've arrived, but this isn't what I thought it was. So you're right in that now, and I'm at the age of 56, I finally feel like, yes, I've nailed it. This is exactly what I was meant to do. All of the experiences, and I've had quite a few negative experiences, not just all positive, they've all brought me to this place.
I love that. And so many women are looking to find their purpose. And it's such a hard thing to do. But once you get there, once you achieve that, there's just so much joy in your life. And I feel like I'm there right now, is like I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm serving my purpose. And my journey with faith has been a difficult one. You know, being abused as a child, I lost my faith. When I regained it was when my life started to turn around. And one of the things that came up in one of my healing sessions through hypnotherapy was that my goal was I needed to serve God. And I was like, what? I don't even believe in God at this point, right? And so, but that's changed tremendously. And now, you know, that's my first source when I need advice and guidance. And so my question to you is, I'm sure you probably have clients that come to you that have no faith, that are actually hiring you to find their faith. Do you find that you have that?
Actually, no. Actually, no.
Oh, okay.
You know, but I will say not all of my clients are their faith forward of their brand. You know, I would say half of the people that come to me were specifically hoping to find a woman of faith to teach them and guide them, because they are, you know, faithful people, faith-based people. But another half, they were raised Christian, but maybe didn't realize how Jesus could be a part of the work. But as they found me and they see how I'm speaking and they understand kind of the way I work, and they see my interviews with my clients, they're like, ooh, wait a minute, maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe I'm ignoring the most powerful part of what I'm called to do, which is, you know, God saying, hello, I called you to this. I gave you all this ambition and this drive and these experiences, and hello, don't forget about me, kind of thing.
That's great. How do you ever come to a point, I mean, I'm sure your business can get chaotic and hectic and you come across challenges. Do you ever question whether you need to continue and look for something else, because you've done a lot of different things and you have a lot of different talents? You ever sit back and go, are you sure this is what you want for me? Like, do I need to try something else on top of this?
Yeah, I love that question. But I've had so much time, literally decades, to get here, that what I'm called to do is not even a doubt right now. I will tell you that when challenges come up, and they come up less frequently. Like I'm at this point in this stage where when problems come up in my work, especially, I'm like, okay, how am I going to handle it? Like the work is the easy part for me. Life, sometimes that, you know, relationships and people in your life, that I actually find that to be more difficult than business, because as a lawyer and as a C-suite executive, like I've been, and you know, you're basically on the shooting range when the judge is sitting up there and he's grilling you. So I feel like I've been through the mill, so that the business, that's kind of the easy thing. Life, I think, is harder, if that makes sense. But my clients, you know, I give them strategy and mindset. And as a big part of the mindset, they grow in their faith in Christ. Because whether you believe in Jesus Christ or you believe in whatever, right? To me, faith is necessary for success. At the very least, you have to believe that you are the expert in order to sell your services or whatever it is that you're putting out there to the world. So absolutely, faith is necessary in business. I think it's the biggest factor. The stronger you believe in your identity as that expert, as that go-to, is going to be, you know, it's going to result in the success that you do or do not have.
And it's the same with life. You have to have a strong confidence in yourself in order to be successful in your relationships and just having joy in your life. I do a lot of work with faith on my clients, but it's not specific to any, I don't teach them about faith. I just teach them the importance of faith and how to leverage that to strengthen your self-trust and confidence and self-love in yourself in order to be able to move forward, because I do think it's really important. So what are some of the things that you help with? What are some of the tools that you use or guidance that you give some of your clients for them to be successful?
Okay, that's so good. Well, I will tell you this. In business, you need two things, and I mentioned it, strategy and mindset. So on the mindset piece, I just came off of another podcast interview with one of my clients, and I asked her, what have you enjoyed most in the last 3 months, or what has been the most valuable for you? And she said, my faith-fueled thought model. So, coaches are maybe familiar with The Model by Brooke Castillo of the Life Coach School, and it never quite gelled with me. So in conversation with the Lord, taking brain, to paper and figuring it out, I kind of tweaked it, and I call it the faith-fueled thought model, where we're really like managing our mind. And you can have all the strategies in the world. And you could, how about this one? The way so many like early stage business owners, they love to download this from this guru, and then they watch this video. They're just always consuming, looking for that magic something that they think they're missing, right? But you can download everything you want if your mind's not right at so many different levels, not the least of which is we talked about the confidence and faith that you're doing the right thing, but also confidence in the fact that you can actually help people. And so many times, especially women, I think that we tend to underestimate ourselves. And so, just dealing with our thoughts of I'm not enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not old enough, or I'm not, experienced enough. So that has been huge on the mindset side. On the strategy side, because I love to strategize, and I'm a lawyer, so I was trained to strategize to win. And so I actually teach my clients not only like my strategies that worked, but I teach them the CEO skill of powerful strategic thinking for themselves, so that one day they don't need Judy. They can figure it out on their own. So that's pretty powerful stuff.
That's really cool. When you're, I know the thing you're talking about, like downloading all this information, because I did that in the beginning as well.
We all did.
But now I don't need to, because now it just comes from within, and I'm able to help my clients that way. And so from a what is it that they come to you for? Like, what does a CEO come to you for? What are they looking for specifically when it comes to strategy? Because at that point, they've achieved a role, or they started a business. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yes, I would love to tell you about my joyful scaling method. And that is for my six-figure, multi-six-figure ladies who want to join my mastermind to get it to closer to the seven-figure mark. So it's the acronym JOY, joyful scaling. So it's 3 steps to scaling. The first is jumpstart. And there we really slow down, and we're looking hard at the strategies, at the brand, at the marketing, at the sales. And we spend a lot of time there, because when that's set and that's a well-oiled machine, then the rest kind of just flows. So the jumpstart is really going deep on what strategy works. And by the way, I'm one of the rare coaches out there that does not ascribe to any one marketing. Like, I know my last coach is like, LinkedIn, that's where you need to be. And she wanted me to DM people, and I'm like, this doesn't feel good. But in any event, so the strategy piece. So I'm like, okay, there's more than one way to market. What do you want to do? Where are your people? Where do they hang out? Like, we go deep on that. That's the first thing, the jump start. Next is O, that's optimize. Now that we have your strategy set, let's optimize 3 things. First, your systems and processes, then your team. Some of the ladies come with me with a team, some with big teams, and we're like, do we need all these people? Or if you don't have any, we need to get some people on board here. And then the third part's automation. What is automated now, and what maybe should we add to it? So that's the O. And then the Y is yield. What is your business yielding? And not just in the way of numbers like profit and revenue, but also client results. and testimonials and referrals and things like that. So with the Jumpstart, the Optimize, and the Yield, when you put all of that together, now your business is ready to take it to 7 figures and as far as you want to take it beyond that.
That sounds like a
really
really
good. I cannot believe we're running out of time. I can't believe we're running out of time.
Oh, bummer. So I have one question then. It's kind of twofold. What do you do? Because what you're doing seems very high stress, even though you seem very relaxed about the whole thing. But I'm sure there's a lot of pressure from your clients. What do you do to balance mental health? And do you also have a female mentor that you can go to for any questions you might have?
That is so good. First, I will say, as a coach, I understand the importance of coaching. I always have a coach, and usually more than one. So I have a couple of go-tos right now, no doubt about it. In addition to peers that are within those higher level mastermind situations, things like that, they are invaluable to me. Community and that kind of access and resources is huge for me. As far as, what was the question? How do I handle my mental health? You know what? It goes back to the faith-fueled thought model, which really is, okay, I have a lot on my plate, for example, we could say that. And I could either freak out or, okay, I just came back from vacation. And as you look at your calendar, you could say, oh, I'm so behind. But we have a choice to say, I'm behind, I'm going to freak out, or to say, we've come off vacation before and we've always had a long list, so we know we'll get it done. So come at it from a perspective of, I got this. It'll get done when it gets done, and it's always going to be fine. So again, it really goes back to managing your mind. And for me, as a follower of Jesus Christ, he is my ultimate go-to. Help me, Lord. He says, come to me, all those who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Yes, Lord, please give me rest.
That's great advice. Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, Judy. Where can people find you?
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, you can find me at Judy Weber Co. everywhere, at Judy Weber Co. And I invite you to check out my podcast. It's called the Joyful Scaling Podcast. And the website for that, where you can find all links to your favorite platforms, is judyweber.co/podcast.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Marisa. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you for listening to Women CEO in Reflection. To reach out to one of our guests, their contact is in the description of the show. Do you want a total mindset transformation? Apply to Mindset Warrior, The Art of Intentional Thinking, my personal coaching boot camp at IamAMindsetWarrior.com, and schedule your call with me today. Thank you.